Welcome to the Vault Studios NFL podcast, an Australian twist on all things NFL. The boys are cracking into a nice cold beer from Burnley Brewing. Let's join them.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the podcast. I am your host, JA, and I'm joined by a very happy Richmond supporter, my man, Richie Garraway. He's got the scarf on if you're not watching on the video. Congrats, mate. Big weekend. AFL Grand Final. Anyone in America or overseas or interstate that only care about rugby? But hold on. Don't worry. We're dominating rugby too. We just won another Grand Final Storm. So I'm not even a rugby fan, but anyone interstate, suck it. We don't even play it seriously down here, and we're still better at it than you guys. So awesome stuff. Just to put a bit of knife wounds in. But mate, big weekend. You got the double again. That's the second time in like 3 years you've had the double, Storm and Tigers.
I don't know if they did double.
They definitely
maybe they didn't. 17. Okay.
Final. Your first grand final, I remember it. Yeah.
Yeah. It was awesome. I mean, as you know, my grandfather's vice president of Richmond in the 70s. He was a life member, obviously until he passed recently. And as much as my wife just gets stuck into me so bad, I'm either way over the top, we're terrible, or way over we're good. I ride the wave, but I really do care. I really do care. I pretend I don't, but I always care. They can ruin my weekend, especially like if you lose on a Thursday, whole weekend's ruined. I do love the Tigers. I'm so happy. The people I'm probably the most happy for, besides all the Melbourne fans who didn't get to see a single game this year. But people like Brendan Gale, Peggy the President, and Hardwick, who was nearly fired at the end of the 2016 season.
It's been some shitty years.
Those three people at the club especially deserve just so much credit. I'm so happy for him, especially Gale, who had his 10-year plan and was pretty mumuch laughed out of the papers. And I'll be honest,
100%. Like everyone laughed at it.
Yeah, I was there too. I was like, yeah, okay. But he's obviously got the 3 premierships in the 10 years. He's annihilated the membership record. They were looking for like 65,000. They've destroyed that. They had 100,000 last year. I'm not sure what it was this year, but with COVID, I'm sure it wasn't as high. And then to be debt-free, and to the best of my knowledge, the club pretty much is. And when he took over, the debts were like $2 million. Like the interest payments alone on that is insane. So
yeah, it wasn't small.
What he's done is incredible. And in my lifetime, being 40, we won the 80 grand final right after I was born. I assure you, I don't remember it. And there were some extremely lean years there. So
yeah,
I'm sure we're now at the point where people don't like us and they're not bearing for us. And I get it. I don't
feel that way. I haven't really felt that way yet.
There's plenty. Be in my
wrong. I didn't want Geelong to win. I didn't want either of them to win. But unfortunately, as a Carlton supporter, I don't have any say in that because we're not anywhere near winning. So no,
it was the other thing, when you guys finished 9th and beat us, like just all that stuff.
We were there that night. You kicked the sign, the MCG, so hard. I thought you either broke your leg or broke the stadium. That's how
I was pretty upset.
You were livid.
But extremely happy. So it is the NFL podcast. I did want to rep them. So I will put that down. I still have my Bucks hat on because that went well too.
We'll talk Bucks. We will talk Bucks soon.
But NFL, let's go. What a weekend. How good.
Yeah, it was awesome. Awesome. I will just quickly say, you're talking about Richmond, Burnley Brewing, just next to Richmond. Yes. I think the club's actually in Richmond. I'm having the nice summer ale tonight. Absolutely delicious. One of their best ones. I've run out of the mango pineapple. I've run out of it. So, Chloe, you were right. It's one of the best. I've thoroughly enjoyed that. So it's been awesome. So thanks for your support, Burnley Brewing. Make sure pubs are opening, restaurants are opening 11:59 tonight in Melbourne. Get in there, buy your lunch, have a meal. Just get in there and support them. Everyone. Support all your local restaurants.
Every Melbourneian tomorrow, whoever your local favourite is, no matter what they do, if they have been closed, get in there. Help them out. We should all have a bit of extra coins.
For lunch, are you, Richie? For a nice pork roll?
I did a sneaky and went there the other day, but they've been open. So I'm going to my local is also another brewery I won't mention to not step on Burnley's toes, but there is a local one right around the corner from me. They've been shut. They've been doing it tough. So I'm going in there for lunch tomorrow.
100%. And also Breaking Oz Memorabilia. You can see him up in the corner there if you're watching live. I did our first helmet break tonight, the Terrell Suggs helmet, and it went to a good friend of mine, believe it or not, who lives just around the corner from me. So I can drop that off for him tomorrow because, again, we have 25-kilometer radius now, which is terrific. Yes. So everything's looking up down here in Melbourne, mate. And congratulations to Brock for winning the Terrell Suggs T-Sizzle helmet. It's such a cool lid. I'm so jealous. I've been putting it in my case, just imagining if it was mine. So I have to go put it back in the box and go drop it off tomorrow. So that'll be fun. But yeah, thanks to Tom, Josh, and Cam at Breaking Oz Memorabilia, especially Tom today for helping me with doing the break with how random.org and all that worked and giving me the logins and everything. Really appreciate it. You made it really easy, guys. So very much appreciate that. If you want to get into our Patreon, $10 a month Patreon, every month there will be a helmet break that you get in for free. You can win a helmet for $10. Simple as that. The Terrell Suggs helmet tonight, it's valued. If you go on eBay, you can find them anywhere between $600 and $700 US. So that's about $800, $900. So you could win that for $10, and you could sell it on eBay if you don't want to collect it. You could sell it to someone else. You could give it to someone as a present, whatever you want with it. So I think it's an absolute bargain. Thank you to everyone who's signed up already. It's been awesome to see how many people are interested in it. So yeah, can't thank our sponsors enough. But without further ado, Richie, let's get into the NFL. And I want to start with, I think, the funniest moment of the weekend. Did you see the picture of Todd Gurley trying not to score and all the Lions defenders like putting their hands up?
He's in.
So with time running out, they could have drained the clock. And if they didn't score, they could have drained the clock. Todd Gurley tries to go down at the goal line. The Lions let him score, which then makes it a 6-point game, which means the Lions get the ball, go down the field, score, kick the extra point to win the game. The Falcons do themselves in again, but this time it was because they were too good and scored a touchdown. But I swear, watching Todd Gurley try and not score that touchdown, I couldn't stop laughing. So they can't even not score properly. Are you kidding me?
If you really watch that in slow motion, which I've done a couple of times, I'm convinced that there were numerous people on that field who had no idea what the actual plan was, including the Detroit defenders. The plan was clearly let him score. Because you can see the guys up front.
Yes. The first tackle. You have to break the first tackle. The D-back comes flying in and hits him.
So that's what I'm saying.
Like,
so what? Clearly, somebody was screaming, let him score. Because you see the guy who initiates that tackle. I can't remember who it was.
Nah.
You see him then let go. Yeah. I actually don't believe Gurley for 1 second. I think he triggered in his mind when he heard them yelling, let him score, and at which point he then tried to go down and he had way too much momentum and didn't stand a chance.
Yeah,
it's just the Falcons. It gives me endless amounts of joy with what happens to them every week. It is a clown show. An absolute clown show. There's poor old Arthur Blank down on the sideline again, ready to celebrate Super Bowl style. And he just has that look on his face like, this guy just must be like,
when you sell up if you're Arthur Blank, you'd be like, yeah, sell it. No,
you ask for a trade. You ask for another team.
No, I think there'd be plenty of people wanting it. It was so funny though. And then Stafford was real clutch in that game. I won't like going down the field with that and scoring a touchdown. Golladay's catch was just unbelievable. The Detroit Lions are sneaky frisky. They're sneaky frisky for me right now.
I'll be honest, they're way better than I thought they would be. Much better.
Offensively, they are. Defensively, they're still not great. I'm not sold on them defensively. And
I thought they'd be garbage everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. I think Patricia's playing like coaching on borrowed time. I don't think if he doesn't get to the playoffs this year and get some success. But the thing is, it's like Dan Quinn. He's had playoff runs. He got to a Super Bowl, but his defense has always sucked. And that's what Matt Patricia's kind of in that thing. He has almost nothing to do with the offense. He said that before. So, it's hard. It's hard. But, they've been frisky. Atlanta, though, just, oh, God. For once they stuffed. They actually scored the touchdown they didn't need. It was, As soon as he scored that touchdown, I was sitting there watching going, oh, they're going to lose. There's no way Atlanta win this.
Well,
There's no way.
It went off in our fantasy football thread that everyone was laughing going, they're going to lose. So 100%.
Everyone knew straight away. It's like, they've just done themselves in. They could have just round this clock down, kicked the field goal from right up close and won. And they're just like, even the coach is standing there. Like, he knew. The defense must have known. They must have been standing there going, we're going to lose. There's no way we never win this. Anyway, very funny.
Loved it.
Richie, you went after Baker Mayfield last week. You went at him, and he comes out and he shows you what's what. No Odell. I think that was it. No, Austin Hooper didn't play, the tight end. He comes out and goes into a duel with the Cincinnati Bengals, but a duel with Joe Burrows and that talented Cincinnati Bengals team. Now, no one has put points on that team this year. They were outstanding. Baker said, away, I'm the man.
Well, he didn't in the first quarter. In the first quarter, he threw for 0 yards and 1 interception. So let's not get too carried away. There was actually a point. It wasn't until Odell got injured and out of the game that he actually started playing better. So it's like, oh, I hate Odell. I wonder how I can blow his knee out. I'll throw.
Have we heard about Odell yet? Is it full ACL?
I have not seen anything, I'll be honest. If you want to have a look while I rattle on about Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, go.
He was much improved in the second half. I actually think he was minutes from being yanked. And the fact of how well he did play in that second half. Yeah, well, there you go. How will he play in that second half?
Next year. They're going to pay him the $18 million next year.
Yes, because it's guaranteed injury clause. Yeah. Actually, yeah, I knew about that one. So I actually feel this might kick him along because we've talked about the talent that's on that team on both sides of the ball.
Yeah,
they're in a position they should be competing. Like they've got enough talent on that roster, they're competing for playoffs.
Yep.
So I hope this is the turning point for Mayfield because, as well as you know from last week, I was thinking he's probably at that point where you're looking elsewhere.
Yeah.
So for them, for their sake, I really hope this is a trend of things to come and not because they're playing Cincinnati.
No, and Cincinnati have shown for also Joe Burrows.
I love this guy. Oh, he's so good.
Joe Burrows, Herbert, they're the real deal. They are
love them.
Yeah,
love them both.
Now, I've said this before about Robert Griffin and Jameis Winston, and look where we are now. But they are, and Mariota, I think I said it about too. But they look like Burrow just looks very comfortable. And Herbert looks like he might be the most physically talented quarterback for a few years now. He's very athletic, very big and strong. But yeah, I think it was a good turning point for the Browns. I think they lost to the Steelers, which sucked. They got pumped by the Steelers division. You go into a division game against the Bengals, who are a bit frisky. They've been playing okay. Burrow's this new young gun, and he plays really well. And Baker goes, "All right, that's it. I've got to do something." And he does something about it. And you could see it in his face when they won. Like you could see that. Like it was almost relief. I felt like he did it.
The incredible thing in that game, I think there was 5 go-ahead touchdowns in a game. That
in the last 5 go-ahead touchdowns in the last quarter.
Yeah, crazy. It just doesn't happen. Like this year has been so much fun. Like a game like that should not be appointment viewing, judging on records and in the past. But it was great. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it was very good. I've got a hot take for you, Richie. Much like last week with my Cam Newton hot take, which rippled across America. Brady is the only reason for the Pats dynasty. The Bucks are rolling. I believe I put it on writing on the weekend, and I don't know how I feel about it, but I think they're going to win the Super Bowl.
You
right pretty quickly and said, calm down, but I'm sure you've screenshotted it. And the Patriots lose. Who did they lose to in the end? Oh, to the Chargers. Oh, was it Chargers they lost to?
No.
No.
It was Denver.
The Broncos. The Broncos.
At home.
In the I think the Broncos were last week. Anyway,
they lose.
They lost. I'm just trying to remember. It was real bad.
It's coming up.
San Fran. They got drummed 33-6 by the banged up San Francisco 49ers. Which like San Fran got some players, but they're missing a lot of dudes, and they towed them up. It was Denver was last week with all the field goals, remember? But Cam looks dreadful. I don't think they've got the answers this year. It's the first time they've ever lost 3 games in a row under the ballot since it's the first time Belichick's lost 3 in a row since he was at the Browns. So never as a Patriot. And then on the other hand, you see Brady just absolutely kicking butt the last couple of weeks. And the Las Vegas Raiders aren't some chump team. He's not beating up on crappy opposition. He did it to the Saints last week. He's he's playing really well. Their offense is humming. He seems to have worked out the system. If you're going on this, and this is going to be the storyline till both of them retire, is did Brady need Belichick more? Did Belichick need Brady more? And right now, if you're looking at the score sheet of the one season or the half season we've had, Brady is well and truly in front.
I don't think there'll ever be a real answer to that question because Belichick could go on coaching for 10 more years and maybe win 2 Super Bowls at another club, and everyone's going to go, oh, it was Belichick. But you can keep coaching while you're old. You can't keep playing. But that being said, a lot of talk has been around his inability to draft, just consistently just taking bad players when if you go back and look at those drafts and say, okay, well, everybody whiffed on, say, player A. Yeah. But player A, B, C, D, E, and F were also available that went after a certain pick and things like that. There's a lot of that. They either can't develop talent, which I find really strange because they seem to get guys off a scrap heap and they can make them good.
Yep.
So they can clearly develop talent. They're just drafting the wrong people, and they do it a lot. Like and trading for somebody like Sanu, they gave a second-round pickup for him. He's not even in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Mid-year last year, they gave up a second-round pick for Sanu, and he is out of the league in a COVID year where there's injuries everywhere, and Sanu can't get in.
I think Sanu's playing.
Unless he was signed during the week, I am sure he is out of the league right now.
Definitely got cut. I thought, didn't you get signed with the Falcons?
No, if he did, it must have just happened. But either way.
No, he's at San Fran now.
Oh, God, he was probably there beating them up.
Scrap heap, yeah.
But this is what I'm talking about. You can have around second-round picks for these kinds of players.
Yeah, guys, that we don't like that. I think that's the best point. We don't even know where Sanu's playing, if he is playing, and they give up a second-round pick for him this time a year ago. You know, when they could have had Emmanuel Sanders. That's the guy that they. Yeah, because that's what was it who that had him last year. The 49ers gave up a second for Emmanuel Sanders last year, so I would have done. But yeah, they've made terrible moves, and for once, the scrap heap is pretty empty. There's not any players stepping up. Their defense is slow. They're so slow. Their D-backs are good. I like their defensive backs, but they're up front. They just don't have anything going on.
All their linebackers opted out, which doesn't help.
Well, it was only Hightower. Hightower was the only good one.
I thought they had a few opt out.
Yeah, they did, but Hightower was that's my argument. Hightower was the only good one. The others they all let leave. Like Jamie Collins left in free agency, Kyle Van Noy left in free agency. They were the 3 starting linebackers last year: Hightower, Van Noy, and Collins. They all only one of them was coming back, and they were a great defense last year. I know they did lose some COVID players, but the offense is what worries me. Cam Newton he is just not.
Well,
he's the guy. He's slowly trickled back into the guy that he was at Carolina at the end. He's not throwing it.
I'm going to put something out there. The lingering effects of COVID is probably the most underestimated thing in global health, quite frankly, right now. Forget the NFL.
COVID? Or did he actually have it though?
I'm sure he did.
He did. I know he tested positive, but was it a false positive, or did he actually?
I'm pretty sure he had it. But,
yeah.
So. The lingering effects, like I've seen a lot of people who talk about, like I got rid of it or it was out of my system. I got negative tests months ago. Yeah. And they're still struggling with fatigue and all these other things that come with it, like hair falling out, all sorts of stuff. And it lingers because we don't know nothing about it. It's bloody new. So the ongoing effects, if you're more tired, you make worse decisions.
Mm-hmm.
You feel rushed, you're sweaty, all that stuff. Like you and I play in a local crappy league. We've played not feeling well before, and you play crap.
Yep.
So I'm going to give him a tiny pass, not a huge one, but I will give him a bit of a pass to say we don't know the lingering effects of this. And still, same thing as Brady last year. Who the hell has he got to throw it to, quite frankly?
N'Keal Harry's not working out again, which goes back to how bad they are at drafting. They just don't draft well.
They're just
not. The bottom line is if you shut down him running the ball, he's almost you may as well put and he got benched. He got benched in this game for Stidham. Now it was a bit of a performance benching, but Belichick
get you out of here.
He's our starting quarterback next year. They were getting drummed next week. It was not we're gonna reevaluate. It was no, he's back next week. He was having a bad day. We wanted him out of there. Simple as that. He didn't need to take hits when we were down 33-6. Simple.
Yeah.
So, and Stidham's no better, so I wouldn't worry. Let's move on. Let's move on to the Cowboys. I don't want to talk about them as a team too much. Like we're talking about all the time.
Not?
Well, they're now down to their third string quarterback.
It's and that hit. Oh my
That's
God.
what I want to talk about. Can we talk about? So a friend of mine tagged me on Facebook today in a video of one of the talk shows in America, absolutely hammering the Cowboys for their response after that hit. And he said, well, you just mentioned before, we play in a local crappy league. I've played offensive line for a long time, about 12 years. If someone had hit any player on my team like that, or especially the quarterback, I guarantee you there's two players out of the game. I'm being ejected because I am, and I'm not the only one. And the Cowboys, even Mike McCarthy came out and criticized them and said, we play for each other, and I just didn't see any of that. Offensive linemen, you need to have that in your blood. Now, I know there's literally Connor Williams is the only starting lineman right now because Zach Martin didn't play on the weekend, and it showed. And they got thoroughly drummed by the Washington Redskins, who are a football team, who are a terrible team. The fact that Kyle Allen was like celebrating how good he was against our defense, they should take that personally. But there's none of that. There's no heart. There's nothing. They are an empty shell of a team. They are rudderless. And I think Mike Nolan's in real trouble. I don't know how he's not fired yet. He's never been a good defensive coordinator, and he's not being good here. And McCarthy needs to really, because what's going to happen at the end of the year is Jerry Jones he's going to pay Dak now. Is Jerry Jones going to come back and go, nah, you're right. It's all my players that are wrong, not you, Mike McCarthy. Let's cut all these players and rebuild this with you. I guarantee it's not happening. Guarantee.
No, you and I both disliked this hire from the start. We've made all the RPO jokes in the world about McCarthy. Yep. This has been a terrible mistake.
The problem is though, he's going to get off because of the injuries, and the injuries are bad. And you know what? We give San Fran credit for their injuries and what they've overcome. Do you know why they're overcoming it? Because they're really well coached. The Cowboys are not well coached. They're not.
And you can use the injuries as an excuse, but the culture, there should have been a fight. There should have been a fight in that point. The culture is not there. They are not a team in any way, shape, or form.
I couldn't believe it. Can you imagine when Des Bryant was there? He would have punched him.
Yeah, for sure.
And he was a total moron most of the time. And he was when he was healthy, he was a good player. But he would have been out. He would have ejected himself.
Did I say he got signed somewhere a couple of weeks ago?
Nah.
Definitely. Or he got worked out? No, he's on Baltimore's practice squad.
Is he?
I think he is.
He's too old for practice squad. There's no way.
No, they changed the rules. Hang on. I'm on a tangent. I hate doing this to you, but I'm sorry.
Two veteran, John Harbaugh and Des Bryant. If we sign him, we'll go from there. He's currently not signed.
I could have sworn that it actually happened. I knew I'd seen something. Anyway, sorry. Yeah. Spew off case.
He did. He worked out. He worked out. I remember.
Yeah. There's something seriously wrong at the Cowboys. I truly believe that ownership have to accept they've made a grave mistake here. Jettison it. Just jettison it. Fire the coaching staff. Start again. Yep. There's talent to come back. Yep. So it's not like the cupboard there.
I don't think you have to blow up the team. No. Few contracts you got to move on and just quietly move them on. But you get Smith back, Tyrone Smith, Lyle Collins, Zach Martin, maybe go and get a center in free agency, although Looney wasn't playing. You get those three guys back already with the receiving talent they've got already signed, Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott. You're kicking with gas on offense. Yep. And then defenses we've seen year to year. Remember when Dallas had that awful defense about 5 or 6 years ago, like the worst ever in the history of the NFL? And going into the next year, everyone was saying they're going to be the worst defense in the league. They haven't signed anyone. Who's this guy? Who's that guy? And I was sitting there going, there's no way they'll be the worst in the league because defenses fluctuate. It's like if you're the number one, you're very rarely the number one for 2 or 3 years in a row. And it fluctuates. They've got to bring in a few guys that are hungry with effort, draft a few guys, and that defense can be a middle of the pack. That offense legitimately can be the number one, but it can't be with Mike McCarthy. I don't see it. I just don't. Anyone could get points with that talent. And as soon as Prescott's gone down injured, they just have no offense all of a sudden.
And quite frankly, if it wasn't for Dak Prescott's, let's just call them heroics earlier in the year, you'd be 0-7.
Yep.
Like seriously, if it wasn't for him
and a cheeky on the
show,
podcast.
yeah, that's what I mean. They should be 0-7.
Yeah,
McCarthy should be fired, and he should be fired now. And I tend not to call for that, but he's got to go. This team, there's something seriously wrong with it.
Yeah, and I don't even think it might be him being a bad coach. He just doesn't have buy-in, so move on straight away.
Yeah.
There's no point dragging this out for 3 years and then starting again when Prescott's pissed off, Zeke's out of contract, you got no players. Then just reboot it now. It's a very attractive job. Get some young college guy that's an offensive guy to come in. Just do it. Give it to Kellen Moore. Fuck it, I don't care. Give it to Kellen Moore. I don't care.
It doesn't need to be a college guy. It's got to be someone fresh who can. Yeah. You tell me Mike McCarthy can sit down and bro with Zeke? Like they can't relate to each other.
I don't think you can bro with a fence post.
That's what I mean.
He's not. You've got to be younger now.
Yeah, you need someone who can. And I use bro the wrong way, but you know what I mean. They've got to be able to build relationships.
You've got to head coaches of Gen Y players. You need to be aloof is the great word. You need to be, powerful enough and and aloof enough that they respect you and they're not gonna mess you around. But you got to be nice enough so they like you. Because as we've always said, you can be the asshole coach when you're winning. As soon as you don't win, no one likes. And who was the coach of the Bucks that year? Who was when he won his first year and everyone loved him. Everyone loved when he was trying to stop people kneeling at the end of games and stuff. Then when you're 1-14, all of a sudden no one likes being screamed at and yelled at and told they're crap. No one likes it anymore. So you've got to be real aloof in modern football, I think. Let's move on to some good football teams. The battle of the undefeated this week. Steelers come out on top. This was an outstanding game. Steelers got a big lead. I thought it was over. I was thinking, Tannehill. But no, he proved me right against the number one defense in the league at that point. He comes flying back. It takes a field goal to win the game. Gostkowski misses a tying kick. Like, when are they going to cut that rope? They're going to cut that rope. He's great. He's great at regulation field goals when they don't matter. That's it. He's got no
Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he's got no clutch anymore.
And he's lost it.
Remember when Adam Vinatieri moved? Not Adam Vinatieri. Oh, no. Vanderjack. Remember when he moved from the Colts to the Cowboys and he missed like the first 7 kicks? They just went, sorry, mate. You're gone. And he hasn't played since. Some kickers just go and he's gone. You just accept it. He was great. Say this to him, go, mate, you were great, but we cannot keep losing games. We got a real chance this year and we can't have it. We can't lose on you. Sorry. Yeah. Simple as that. And I'm sure a professional like Gostkowski, he's earned enough money. He'll be fine. I'm sure he'll live.
He's got a fistful of Super Bowl rings. He'll be fine.
He's going to be fine. He's had a great career. He's a Hall of Famer once he's said and done. But this was a perfect game. Roethlisberger, great first half, struggled second half. Titans managed to shut down their receiving game to an extent. Connor was good. It was just a great game. Like there was
Connor's
played well.
That's the one part of their game I'm concerned about. Their defense is awesome. But if this is their problem, they were up. They need to run this game out. And I don't think he's that kind of back. It's probably the one thing they're missing.
No. But what's the easiest thing in the NFL to find?
No, running backs just
I wish just for narrative point, do you wish they'd got Le'Veon Bell back? I wish they'd traded for Le'Veon Bell back. It would have been great.
As a signed Brown too, it'd be hilarious.
Let's start on that. Why are they signing him, the Bucks, Antonio Brown?
They're talking about his insurance policy. Yeah, he is. Look,
he's an alleged rapist. Like,
it's a civil suit. It's a civil suit, not a criminal suit. So I'm not going to comment until it's done because you don't know.
He's proven that he's not a very good person the last couple of years. And that's what I mean. Like, and it only annoys me so much. And I had this conversation with the fantasy boys, Lewis and Corey, this week. Check out their show Thursday nights about it. And my thing was, I don't care if guys get to play again. Like Joe Mixon's got a second chance. Tyreek Hill, that's fine. Like they've done really shitty things, and I'll never get over that as a person. I'll never be like, you know what, Tyreek Hill's all right. He just beat the crap out of a girl once. Like same with Joe Mixon. I'll never get over. I'll never be like, I'll forgive, but I'll never forget it, sort of thing. You know what I mean? Because I just can't imagine anyone like that. But
it's because we both got daughters.
Yeah, but if you smoke weed, you miss 2 years of football. Like Randy Gregory just missed 2 years of football because he smokes weed.
Yeah.
Yet guys like this can beat the shit out of women and play. It just, it blows my mind. Like, guys can go to jail for killing dogs and come back and play before someone who smokes weed. Like, this, and that's what annoys me about it. It's not the actual players that annoy me about it. It's the rules. And it's only if they're good. If there's a good player that does something wrong, he never plays again. They make an example of that guy. But Antonio Brown might still be good, so let's get him back in. You know, it gives me the irks. I don't like it. It really sells the fact that, you know what, you can still be a piece of crap, but if you're good at something, you'll always have a job. And I don't like that attitude.
Well, yeah, that's just the nature of the beast.
Unfortunately,
happens in all sports.
And the NFL enable it. That's the worst of it. You know what? And that's fine. Don't kick people out for smoking weed, especially if it's legal in their state. Especially, they're not even breaking the law, and you're kicking them out. But it's heading there.
I would think so too. Yeah. Just flip it back, come back to that game. I think Pittsburgh are the real deal. I'm so glad I had them number one in the AFC this year. I think they're playing great, and Connor's going to be good.
Baltimore yet? Or are we going to get them twice in the second half of the season? I think they play them twice second half. Of the year.
I don't think they've played yet. So they're really good. But the Titans, kudos to them for coming back. Like I didn't think
the other team could have bowed over and we would have just forgot about it. But
you and I, we always queued up to get on Tannehill, and in all honesty, rightly so. He's proved himself as an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, and this was a rematch. This game got cancelled week 3, so then they had to come back for this one. Steelers play the Ravens next week.
Oh, giddy up, really?
Yeah, and they've done great. They've just thrown it in that slew of Monday morning games. But don't worry, in the afternoon Sunday night we get Cowboys at Eagles. Yay!
Wait, that's Sunday night game.
Sunday night. Night we get Cowboys and Eagles. Monday night we get Bucks at Giants. Like, I'm all for the Bucks, but the Giants
on Cup Day too.
Yeah, on Cup Day, who are terrible. Hey, we'll be able to watch it together.
No, I actually got to work.
Oh yeah, you don't get public holidays. So the morning games are Saints Bears, 49ers Seahawks, which is division, Chargers Broncos. I'm like, I'd cut Chargers Broncos and Saints Bears and put in Steelers Ravens, but what do they do? Anyway, let's move on. Sunday night game, Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson.
Can I go as far as to say
go.
Year?
Yeah, it was pretty freaking good. It was pretty good.
I'll let people in on the secret lives of our idiotic tech messages. JA puts in our text thread, please go to overtime. Please go to overtime. Please go to overtime. Bang, overtime. Then you put the dance emoji.
That was great.
I love it. I still wanted it to end. I did not want that game to end. It was awesome.
I wanted him to miss the next field goal and Russell Wilson to drive the field and win it. It was awesome. And I was so impressed with Kyler Murray. I've watched him a few times, but this was like, when you get a night game and you just watch it, like, you can really, you really get to watch him. He's like mini Russell Wilson. Like, they're carbon copies. I think Kyler might have a little bit of a more powerful arm though. And it might be a bit more athletic. Kyler Murray's got a real chance of being very special.
And he's got that kind of base, like, he's short, but he's not slight. He's got kind of that bit of that baseball build. He's a bit stockier.
Prettiest slide in the NFL. Him and Russell Wilson are two prettiest slides in the NFL. They never get hit.
Baseball players, they know not how to get hit.
Yeah, look at him try and slide.
RG3, perfect example.
Yeah, dread. His knee sliding.
Yeah.
That was. What do we think? Like, do you reckon Arizona can take that division? It's so good. Can we just let whoever comes last in that division take the NFC East?
That's pretty funny. Obviously, with the new playoff slot, they can all make it. Obviously, it's never happened before. Insert joke here. But they're all above 500.
Yeah.
It's just loaded.
Yeah.
That division. It's probably the most competitive division in sports, in US sports, let alone just the NFL.
100%.
I mean, can they win it? I still believe the Seahawks are in the driver's seat. I hate that defense, though.
Dreadful.
But it's hard. It's really hard to say they can't, but I would think the Seahawks are still in the driver's seat.
I had the funniest tweet during this game. I tweeted about Isaiah Simmons, who was a guy I really liked for Defensive Rookie of the Year. I thought he was going to be terrific. He's playing middle linebacker for them, can't get on the field. And I tweeted, I couldn't find information. I tweeted, is he injured? Can he just not get game time? Like, what's the actual go with Isaiah Simmons? And then about 7 minutes later, he got that pick on Russell Wilson in overtime to put him to win the game for Arizona. And I just thought to myself, a guy like Simmons, right? His big thing out of college was that he was that dude that just made plays, just all the time. He just made plays, and he played 5 snaps on the weekend and gets a pick in the biggest moment of the game after a missed field goal where everyone, as soon as he missed that field goal, I'm thinking, Russell's going to go down the field and win this. 100%. He gets a pick, runs it back into field goal range. They win the game. This guy, I don't care if you're at practice going, but Hicks is a better middle linebacker. Just have a package, call it the Simmons package, and just get him on the field and go, you know what? It's 3rd and 15. Isaiah, you're out there. You don't have any responsibility. Just play. Just go. Do something with the guy.
It's crazy. The defense is crummy. You would think they could find a way to use him. Really, that's a good coaching staff up there in Seattle. I'm really surprised they haven't, unless he doesn't know it or he struggles to learn. Oh, sorry, that's what I meant to say. But how you can't, I just can't work out how you can't find a way to use him.
Man,
I find it really
and you said there's that defense is like the number 1 defense in the league, and there's just too many good players to get the rookie on the field. Like
it's like Panthers do.
Yeah, I hope we start to see it turn because there's a guy I'm actually really rooting for him. I think he's.
Can we quickly talk about DJ Metcalf?
Every coach in the world is going to show that video. That's the Champ Bailey video where he runs out and drills Ben Watson. No, sorry, the Ben Watson video when he runs out and gets Champ Bailey right at the end zone to stop the touchdown. The difference with this Metcalf one is he's literally 15 yards directly behind him. Buda Baker is running full speed. You see him turn and see it's Metcalf, and he tries to you can see he's going to hit his arm away.
He's in the front on the vision of it.
He turns around he's like, oh my God. You think he probably turns around thinking, it's going to be a little guy. I'm just going to push him off me. And he turns around and sees an offensive lineman chasing him down. But they didn't score on that drive. They got 0 points. That was a 7-point play. It's very impressive.
To every single football team on the planet. Now, he knows he is fast enough to catch that guy. And I've chased pick sixes down, and I don't get there because I'm not fast enough.
Yeah.
And Julio Jones has got one where he chases one down.
Yep.
So these guys know they're fast enough to get there. Even if he didn't get there, the effort, what that shows about DJ Metcalf, who everyone when he came in said, he's a one-trick pony, all he can do is go deep.
And he's a prima donna, all that talk.
Because that's all he was ever asked to do at college.
Yeah.
So he must be the ultimate team guy. He could have so easily just jogged and let that go for 6.
No one would have ever said anything about it.
No, because they never would have ever seen him. You barely saw him in the shot at the start.
You didn't know. It's only when they showed the replay of the wide view that you notice him from the start.
Apparently, he and Watson. I can't believe I screwed that up.
What? Watson?
I'm getting my quarterbacks all fired.
Him and Kyler? No, him and Russell? I'm getting confused.
He and Russell was apparently really tight, and Russell challenges him constantly to be his best. Like they hang out in Mexico together and things, and obviously, like they are really tight. And how much he is like, I can't stand his press interviews and all the rest of it, but the way he is rubbed off on Metcalf is exceptional. He is such a good player.
He's clearly a good leader, Russell Wilson. Though. Like he's unbearable, but clearly people buy into him. That's the difference. Like people, they must love him because they play for him. They play hard for him. Yeah, and he's very good. But terrific game of the year. There was a game today. Bears-Rams. Rams kicked the crap out of the Bears. Their offense is dreadful. They only scored 3 points out of pick 6 late in the game, or a fumble recovery for a touchdown from that defense is really good at the Bears. But I said Nick Foles is not the answer. They stuffed up. They stuffed up in the offense.
More than that.
Yep. Nick Foles wasn't the answer, and Trubisky. So, they may as well put Trubisky back in and try and run the crap out of the ball with him. That's what they may as well do to try, and because it's probably going to score more points.
Well,
Foles
clearly Foles makes them no better. So may as well go back to Trubisky and work out if you have to cut him at the end of the year.
Yeah, dreadful O-line too, which is hard for a statue quarterback like Foles. Like there was a few times there a guy got open over the top and he was getting hit and couldn't step up and make the throw, and he doesn't have the arm talent of Mahomes to just zip it like that with no feet. So yeah, it's not looking good. But I think the Bears, I love their defense. I really do. I just think we're right about them. I just think they're just going to slowly start to fade off. I believe, who do they play? They play someone good next week again. Bears. They might have a bye next week, sorry. No, who do they play? Where are they? Bears. Why I can't find them at all. They're not in the bye bit. Football, Washington, Cardinals, Jaguars, Texans have a bye. Oh, Bears. They play the Saints at home. So I think if the Saints beat them, that's when it'll start to fade away a little bit. They're playing some better teams now, but their defense has been really good.
And they got the Titans.
Yeah, so they got a tough run. Let's get to our next segment. Bit of fun, Richie. We're going to do what's called Fork'em. Lots of shows do this, so don't accuse us of copying. So many do it. Someone copied first, so we're just copying last. We're going to pick 3 each for tonight, and then every week we're going to add a fork. I don't think if we do every week, will we run out of teams for playoffs pretty quick?
No, it should be the perfect amount.
Have you checked that? I have. Okay, cool. So we're going to fork 3 each tonight, and then we'll go from there. Just a quick detail. Richie, you can go first. You can fork your first team. I hope it's who I want to fork first.
I'm forking the Atlanta Falcons because
you're going to Falcons first. Well, coach has been fired. They are currently 1-6. They're 2 games behind third place Carolina Panthers in their division, so they're certainly not making a playoff run anytime soon. And the bottom line is they can't clutch up anything. They can't win a football game. They literally scored a touchdown on the weekend instead of winning. I hope Todd Gurley breaks the record this year by 1 touchdown, so it's worth it.
Hang on, I'll keep track of the forkings.
Yeah, all right, you got the Falcons, you got Atlanta Falcons. My first one, and I cannot believe. Yeah.
I got the same list up that has all my predictions in it. I had the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl.
I know you did. I remembered this. It might still happen. Don't worry, Dak's coming back, man. They're gonna just tape his leg together with sticks and let him play. He'd still be better than DiNucci or Dalton. I guarantee it. Who would have thought that him getting injured would have put his stock up? He's gonna get paid more now because of how bad the quarterbacks are in Dallas.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Right,
this one's simple. I can't believe you didn't go for them first. The New York Jets. They're the only team that haven't won a game. Adam Gase, they're not going to fire him. I'm certain they're going to ride this out for the year and let him sink this team. They're going to have the first overall pick. They're going to be dreadful. They are forked hard. I'm done with the New York Jets. They're finished. Your next one.
I'll fork their fellow Meadowland mates, the New York Giants.
Fair enough. Even in
that terrible division, I actually think the professional football team is a better team, like legit better team.
Oh, the Eagles are winning that division. There's no doubt in my mind. They're winning it. And you play them next week now, the Bucks. So you realize that they're going to beat the Bucks just to rub it in. And I'm going to make it. I'm going to be able to talk about it next week, and I can't wait already. I've added it to the rundown for next week already. Richie gets it wrong. My next one. I don't love doing this. It's the Denver Broncos.
No,
I know there's teams with more losses like Jacksonville, Houston, but the Denver Broncos, Drew Lock is a turnover. Another one of my famous tweets from the weekend is that he just doesn't have it, Drew Lock. I've watched him enough now this year. He just turns the ball over too much. He's just not going to... He might be a starting quarterback if you can add a ton of talent around him, have a good defense, but he turns the ball over too much in crucial situations and doesn't make up for it ever. Just that's the problem. Like at least Winston, when he throws 30 interceptions, he throws 30 touchdowns. He's going to finish with 25 interceptions and 8 touchdowns. Like he's just not He's just not there. And, you know, it sucks that their O-line's bad and, you know, maybe Cortland Sutton could have helped him turn it around, but I just don't see anything this year from Denver. I don't see him going on a run. I'm not sold on them at all, and I'm going to fork them early. Is that three for me? No, that's two for me. This is your third.
The AFC is better than the NFC right now. So I'm going to have to fork Cincinnati. They're 4 games behind in their own division, let alone anywhere else. It's a mountain that they have to climb at this point. So I think it's going to be too far for them. They've got the future drafted, which is great for them. They can now concentrate on protecting him and then getting some D-line talent and then go from there. But I think the future is set, but it ain't going to be this year.
My last one, Richie, and you know this kills me to do this.
Fork your own Cowboys when the Texans and the Jags are out there.
I hope I'm wrong, and I hope I pay for this, and I hope everyone laughs about it. I am forking the Dallas fucking Cowboys because you know what? Richie, you know me. I have not missed a Dallas Cowboys game in about 15 years. I've watched every game, whether they've been good, bad, or in the middle. I cannot watch Dallas Cowboys football this season. They are dead inside. There is something wrong. I've never seen them play with this little effort. I've seen untalented teams at Cowboys that play with more effort and have been more enjoyable to watch than this team. I'm done. I cannot watch it anymore. I watched a season of Drew Henson play quarterback, Richard.
I remember the year.
I can't do it. I'm done. I am forking the Dallas Cowboys. I hope I'm wrong. I hope by some miraculous reason they turn this around. And you know what? If any of these teams we've forked don't have a chance, it's them because the division is dog shit. But I think they will get pumped on Sunday Night Football by the Eagles. After what happened in Washington, they've got nothing left. And I think there's going to be some big changes coming this year in Dallas. And I think it's going to start with coaching. And it's going to happen in the next few weeks. They're going to trade some players away and trade some dead fat away and try and move on from there. I'm forking the Dallas Cowboys. I'm done.
Love it. So just to recap, the Forkings, the Falcons, the Jets, the Giants, the Broncos, the Bengals, and the Dallas Cowboys have all been forked. We'll add at least 2 teams every week. Obviously, there's going to be some front runners for next week because we went a bit off the board.
A few on the board, but I wanted to get in front of it early. I want the Cowboys. I want them out of my hair. I don't want to think about him anymore. That's sad. I love that team.
There is something satisfying about, and over the years, there's been a couple of bad ones of those.
Yeah.
So you do really get to enjoy the really good games around it because your care for your own team dissipates a bit. Yeah. And with your relatively crummy record, I know there's a lot of only 1-win teams, but you could be in the mix.
If Cowboys have the number 1 pick, do they take Lawrence?
Yep, 100%.
And they just move on from Prescott? Or they?
No, you might want to trade him. But he's too good an asset to not draft. You either take a king's ransom to go down.
Yep.
Or you take him and
then hold him ransom for anyone who wants him, pretty much. And tell everyone how good he is in training camp and how great he's been. And how
you might even do it on draft day.
Yeah. No, you know? I'm in. Well, there's the forks for the week, guys, and that's the podcast for the week. Richie, I'm feeling a bit better this week. I don't know if you could tell. I've got some energy, although I did have to get COVID tested today. My work were like, you've been sick on the weekend, get tested, please. So
it's smart. It's not fun. We've all had it.
Have you been tested?
Oh yeah,
it's awful. It is dreadful. I felt like his swab was in my brain. It was I did not think it didn't hurt. It was just really, really uncomfortable. I did not like it at all. Yeah. But I got tested today, so I'm feeling a lot better this week. I'm not nasally and a bit flat. So energy was high tonight, Rich. It was a great week of football. Thank you, Burnley Brewing. Again, I've got 1 coffee beer left, Chloe. So if you're listening, Chloe, Michael, put some coffee beers aside because I'm coming end of the month. I'm coming. We need some coffee beers. They're everything to me. Breaking Oz Memorabilia, thank you for your support. Remember, $10 Patreon, patreon.com/Vault Studio. It'll be in the description for all. If you're on YouTube, SoundCloud, whatever you're on, the podcast description, it's in there. Go there. $10 a month, chance to win a helmet. a signed helmet for either you to keep or sell off and do what you want with. It's an absolute bargain if you ask me. If you're a collector, it's a no-brainer. And thank you to everyone who's signed up already. And Richie, lastly, thank you for being here, mate. Absolute pleasure as always. And I guess everyone will see us next Tuesday. Thanks again, bud.